you've been to some fireplaces. It's hard to carry on when you feel all alone. Now I've swung back down again. It's worse than it was before. If I had seen such riches, I could live with being poor. I'll sit down, I'll sit down, I'll sit down, sit down next to me. Sit down, 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 in sympathy.
So, good evening, everybody. Bit of a late show, but well, I want to go through this. And I welcome on Darren, mate. Good to see you, mate.
Evening.
Good to see you on the channel. Always welcome, you know that. And TJ Warren. I was just watching this show, man, and I just want to go through, have a chat about today. I seriously am very annoyed about it, and what happened in that game. Darren, I know you've got a slightly different opinion to it. You gave a different prediction, so mate, give us how you saw the game today, and then I'll come to TJ, and then I'll give you my opinion. And then we'll break the whole game down.
Right. Well, I expected us to lose today because I know, and I know everybody knows it's not easy going to Anfield. Although some fans seem to think we were just going to go up there and easily win, which I get disappointed when I hear that because it's disrespectful to Liverpool because they are a juggernaut of a football club. They've got a juggernaut of a manager and they've got a very good team. So the fact we've come out of a point today is more than I actually thought we were getting from Anfield. So I'm still disappointed after being 2-0 up that we've only got a draw. But the expectation that I thought we were going to get nil, actually we've come away with a point, makes me feel a little bit better than I think a lot of people at the moment. But so going through the game, I mean, it obviously was. I mean, a lot of people are going to say it's a game of two halves. I mean, we were brilliant for the first 40 minutes. We did a control job on them. We pinged the ball about. They looked like they were half asleep. We actually looked very good, and we could have actually bagged 3-4 goals. We had a chance with Jesus on the near post. Weren't an easy chance. Then Zinchenko had a shot that was saved by Alisson. And then we all know what I'm going to say next in the last 5 minutes of that first half. Mr. Xhaka, he got a little bit manhandled on the floor and looked up at the referee and was expecting something because he didn't get nothing. Then thinks it's a good idea then to throw an elbow into TAA. Now, he could have got sent off for that 2-0. You know, so that's a little bit naughty. We've seen Xhaka do it before, although he hasn't done it as much this season. But hey, listen, I've been saying for a while that we haven't had a busy fixture list in terms of quality opposition. And today, Mr. Arteta got found out on a number of factors. First of all, on his squad, when you're going to Anfield with Rob Holding at the back and Xhaka in midfield, they're not going to be good enough in my book. Holding was clearing crosses reasonably well. I don't think it was a penalty, but then he gave it away. He's the one who's give the penalty away. So there you go. So Arteta's been found out, and on his squad, these are his toys. He's now playing with his toys. And when you start losing your toys, eventually your mummy and daddy are going to take your toys away from you. He's not doing it properly. So these people that he's putting his neck on the line for are letting him down. Holding should have been out the door 3 or 4 seasons ago after Wenger. Xhaka should have been out the door the season after he told the fans to go and do one. There's small margins in success and failure in winning a title, especially And you're coming up against Man City. They've got all that money and they've got the best manager and all this. If you want to win the title against a powerhouse like Man City and your Liverpools and your teams like that, you can't be carrying passengers. And these players are passengers. So in the second half, Arteta shows us just what a poor manager he is. He puts Kiwior on in midfield for Odegaard, and it's like, what? Where's that come from? You know, what was you looking to achieve by that? When he done the subs, I said to me lad, I said, oh, he's trying to shore it up and go for the win 2-1. But really, I was saying on 60 minutes, now's the time for Trossard in place. We need to just do something different. I could see it was all going wrong on 60 minutes. We need to bring Trossard in, something different. But he never done it. And he gets found out against quality time and time again. Go and batter Leeds 4-1. Go and batter Crystal Palace 4-1. Yeah, jump up and down in the stadium and start getting all excited, saying Arteta's the best and he knows exactly what we need. But listen to Liverpool supporters today on Sky Sports. If you're listening to the crowd, Sky Sports are having to edit and apologise for all the swear words from the Liverpool supporters, because guess what? They don't accept second best, right? When their team are on that pitch and they ain't doing well, they don't go, oh, carry on. Jolly good show, chap. Try a bit harder. Carry on. No, they get up off their seats and they give it to the players. And it worked, didn't it? Because in the second half, Liverpool come out and it was a game of two halves. We spun them around in the first half, but in the second half, they did exactly the same to us, because they got decent supporters out there that are realistic and don't just go on this sort of gravy train of emotion of, oh, you've got to support your team no matter what, even if they're having a shit game. Cheer them, clap them. Yeah. No. You know, this is why we're never going to do it. We're never going to get there. But I've had a little rant. I'll come back to why I think we've still got a chance in this title race. And I think it's going to go down to goal difference. If we can slap teams up, the lesser teams up, we've got a chance of winning. That doesn't mean to say I don't want Arteta out. He can go. Well, let's go and win the league, then let's get rid of him and get a Champions League qualified manager that can get us on four fronts, not just one trophy, but get us in the mix for 4 trophies.
Great comment, mate. That's a great comment, and very well put. Lenny says, love the channel and your guests. Keep up the great work. Lenny, mate, thank you very much for that.
Big up, Lenny.
Mate, means a lot. And TJ, first of all, may I say to you, sir, congratulations on breaking that 100 subs. When you break that, mate, it will go up and up and up and up and up and up and up. Let's get TJ up to 500 subs as soon as we can. Awesome channel, awesome content, gets great guests on, and I know because I'm one of them. So there you go. Just saying.
Yeah. No. But, only facts. Facts only.
I'm having a joke, obviously. TJ will be on hopefully this Wednesday at 6 p.m. UK time with Lee, Kenny, and Ola, the Black Scorpion. So that'll be fun.
Yeah.
TJ, I called it 2-1 all week, but I did make the statement. We need to start Tierney at left back. I watched a lot of your show earlier, whilst I was doing fan cams and player ratings with Lee and Kenny and all that. Mate, give us your breakdown.
I don't think we have time, and anybody else has time for the full breakdown and the full rant that I've been going on over and over and over again. But there was a lot wrong with that game, and you don't need to, there you don't need to have a bit of education to know what went wrong there. Let's just go ahead and start with starting Zinchenko at left back, period. We called it to begin with what was needed. And you know what? And Salah went in there and he did a job today. He was garbage. He couldn't finish anything. But if he could have finished half of the chances that he got, it would have been 4-2, 5-2. Easily. Because we knew that matchup between Salah and Zinchenko was going to be a problem. Look what happened. Look what happened. And then you got that false right back in Trent Alexander-Arnold, which he is shit, by the way. He is an awful defender. Awful defender. But we made him look unbelievable today. Because not only did he get in Granit Xhaka's head, and I'll get into that if you'd like me to. Not only did he get into Granit Xhaka's head, he spun Zinchenko. He skinned him. Zinchenko is a rug on his carpet now. He absolutely skinned him. And it cost us the game. And now, Arsenal fans, I want to tell you right now, here comes the meme of Zinchenko on the bench doing this. He deserves it. He deserves to feel it because that was his fault. That last goal was his fault. So, as soon as Arteta learns that Zinchenko is not a true left back, there's always going to be a liability there. There's always going to be a liability there. He's a CDM or a CM. He is not a left back. We're done with that. That argument, like if you're watching the game with your eyes, you can't refute it. So that's it. The next person I want to talk about is Mikel Arteta. He managed that game terribly. Terribly. The subs were way too late and they were wrong. They were wrong. So all of us were crying out. I know a lot of us were in League Gunners chat today. So big up everybody that was in that chat. We were all crying out for a sub at 60 minutes, 65 minutes, 70 minutes, 75 minutes. And around the 80th, 82nd minute, he decides to make a change. And he puts on Kyrior for Odegaard. What? I'm sorry. The last time I checked, Kyrior is a center back. Odegaard is a central attacking midfielder. So obviously he wanted to park the bus. That's what we're going to say, right? Where was Kyrior on that goal? Where was Kyrior on several of those?
Well, he could have got sent off because when he come on, he actually swung a left boot, and I actually thought he was holding.
I remember you telling me that. I remember you saying that, and I went and looked back, Darren, in the chat, and I remember looked back and being like, yeah, he's lucky he didn't get a red. He's lucky he didn't get a red. But he was caught out of position so many times because I was like, okay, you're not Martin Odegaard. You are a third-rate center back who got thrown on the field at Anfield. And you know what? He got thrown into the fire, and he's going in there and he's doing his job. He's doing the best he can, but he was a ball lost in tall grass out there. He had no idea what he was doing, and he was completely out of his element. Yeah. So that's that. And then you don't bring on Kieran Tierney until somewhere between the 80th and 85th minute when the game is completely out of our hands. We've already given it up. Zinchenko got absolutely skinned, and there's nothing that Kieran Tierney can do. And he honestly gave everything he could in the last 9 minutes that he was on the pitch. The 9 odd minutes. Yeah, he had a shot.
Post, yeah.
Exactly. And I'm not trying to rant on and on and on because there's a lot to talk. There's a lot to dissect in this game. But overall, we had the game in our hands. We had some idiotic emotional decisions made on the pitch by certain midfielders that I would love to talk about. That gave the game to Liverpool. It gave the game to them. And my man of the match is Aaron Ramsdale. If it wasn't for Aaron Ramsdale, it would have been 5-2 just based on the last 10 minutes alone. And Jess, I should be a lot happier. I was saying this on my stream. I should be a lot happier because I have 101 subscribers. I have a great community. I have a great base of friends in this community, and I should be ecstatic that I'm gaining the following that I'm having. But I'm just angry because that game was ours. This title we could have been pulling this title away today. We could have been talking about it, but no. Individual errors and boneheaded mistakes.
I totally agree with your comments and Darren's. Personally, to me, when you go to Anfield and you go 2-0 up, and I sat here when we were 2-0 up, trying to think in all the times I have personally been to Anfield and seen Arsenal go 2-0 up. I struggled to think, I remember, well, we all remember one great night, of course, but I struggled, and I suddenly came up. Oh yeah, a league game, and 2 cup games. But to go to Anfield and do that, and they're there for the taking. For fuck's sake, they were there for the taking. 2-0 up, and Xhaka does Xhaka stuff. And that was the start of the fire, because all the time you keep the Anfield crowd quiet, there's no response. The minute Granit Xhaka did that, they were up and ready for a fight, and they never shut up after that. Because if you remember, guys, and everybody in the chat, when we were 2-0 up, the only people you could hear singing were the Arsenal fans in the Anfield Road end, in that quadrant. That's all you could hear. You couldn't hear anything else. So Granit Xhaka, today you were a prick, because you brought that on Arsenal. You brought it on us, man. And that's the first time this season you've done it. There is no need for you to get involved in any nonsense at all. At all. You should have got up, showed your maturity, which you have done all season, and fucking walked away. Because after that, what happened? We concede. We concede a bloody goal. And after that, I'm sorry to say it, and we will get into this as we go through this chat, we just fell apart. We became an embarrassment. And I am still seriously pissed off. Seriously pissed off. Now, Darren, I know you had a different perspective about this game. I expected us to get a win. I did. I was ultra positive. I was ultra positive all day. When we went 2-0 up, I mean, I predicted a 2-1. And at one point it was. And then shit show happened. Mate, I mean, you've got to be disappointed, Darren, with this. You've got to be.
Yeah, I mean, you were right and I was wrong in the first 40 minutes, because I'm watching this thinking, wow, look at this. I'm wrong. We're walking all over Liverpool, where they couldn't get the ball off us. I've never seen an Arsenal team go up there and do that to Liverpool, what we did to them today in 40 minutes. And that there's credit there, but that all gets wiped out in a second, because when you say that after Xhaka did what he did, they went and scored, literally, that's what happened. All the yellow card got brandished to Xhaka. But then immediately then he's on a tightrope for the rest of the game. And literally they went up the other end and scored the goal, which gives them, either if they were going to get a goal the last 5 minutes of the half or the first 15 minutes of the second half, we were in for terror. And Liverpool do terror very well, because all their fans jump up and down. And, you know, even Robertson was, you know, getting involved with that Lino, and the Lino's done that to him, and Roy Keane's called him a baby, which I pissed myself laughing at on Sky. I thought it was hilarious. But it's all gamesmanship. It's all, Robertson's walking off the pitch. He starts giving it that to the fourth official or Lino, and then the bloke reacts and hits him, and then he's going, oh, look, I'm a victim. And then it galvanises them, and they're like, yeah. And then instead of them, and that worked for Robertson because he was going to get a fucking bollocking when he went in the dressing room because he was getting ripped to shreds. His teammates were going to get a bollocking. But all of a sudden, he's manufactured that with the fucking lino. It's not only Xhaka who's getting wound up, they're doing it with their officials. So now he goes in and says to Klopp, here, boss, it's not only, the rest of the world are against us today. We've got these officials against us. Excuses. And then his mates are probably looking at him thinking, oh, well done, Robertson. Yeah, good. Yeah, give it to Xhaka because he'll get wound up. Now, give it to the lino. The lino got wound up. And all of a sudden, they're all siege mentality. They're all in it like this. They're a team again. So, yeah, I'm disappointed. We should have walked out there with 3 points. And I reckon if we'd have walked out there with 3 points, we'd have a good chance of winning it. We'd have been able to afford to lose to Man City. And as long as we beat then Newcastle away and the other teams, we walk off with the title. But now it's not like that. We've got other work to do.
Totally agree, mate. I totally agree with that. And let's go a quick comment. Arsenal Alex. If you don't know Arsenal Alex, go and subscribe to Arsenal Alex. Lovely guy. He does great content and needs more subs. Top fella. And as he says, Arteta is an arrogant prick. Well, that's my saying. I've been saying it for a long time. I hope to God this doesn't cost us. Facts. Absolute facts on that one. Matt, how are you, man? Southern Gooner. How you doing, man?
You're on mute, my friend. You're on mute, my friend.
Mute.
I'm sorry. It's good to see
deal.
everybody, but not under these circumstances. I know I've been working the last couple of weeks, so I hadn't had a chance to see anybody. But damn, I come back and this is what happens. So, Jay, it's good to see you, bro.
And you, man, and you, mate. Well, disappointment today, wasn't it? We went there 2-0 up, ended up 2-2. Disappointing. Mentally, we looked great in that first half. We seriously did, but we just, I don't know, man. We just once again couldn't get it over the line, And I think that Arteta got it wrong today. He just inexperienced, maybe you could say it that way. I don't know. But we had the chance there to grab 3 points to Anfield. First time in, 11, 12 years? 11. And 11 years, yeah. What was it? Cazorla and Podolski, was it? Was the last time they
Cazorla and Podolski, yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, it was that game. Yeah.
And man, come on, Jesus Christ, we're top of the league. We should have killed them. Matt, give us your view, mate.
Well, it was definitely a tale of two halves, and I just think that I've mentioned this before. Y'all heard me say this time after time. It's these damn Arteta growing pains that just absolutely is going to zap the life right out of us, man. There's no reason why Kieran Tierney should have been substituted on that late in that game today. You're looking at Jurgen Klopp bring on 3 players. I mean, he's all the way down there at Firmino. For a fact he's trying to get something out of it, which means they're going to be exposed. So what does that mean? Zinchenko is really about to be exposed because now he's a player that he cannot play defense. He cannot play defense. Great going forward. Cannot defend. And against teams like Liverpool, no matter what you think about Salah, he poses a threat every single time he touches the ball. Every single time he touches the ball. Him and Gabriel were going at it. Gabriel was on his ass like white on rice today. And he was telling him, defend the man, please. Because I can't do it all. Defend the man. If you go back and watch the goal, right before the goal, Gabriel tells him, go over there. What does he do? He's 2 or 3 steps late. By the time he gets to him, he gets nutmegged. I told Lee, I said, by the time he did that, I actually was standing up, walking to that corner right there because I already knew what was going to happen. I knew what was getting ready to happen without even looking at it. I knew what was going to happen because he was not locked in. The manager was not locked in there. He can't. It seemed as if Jez, the second half happened, and he didn't have it. You could see that if you go back, it was this one particular look that he had. He was standing there like this, and it was almost just to say, "I really don't know what to do. I really don't know what to do." And it showed.
Nope.
He has this thing where he loves these players to a fault. And what happens is he does not know when to pull the plug on something that's not working. And it's been one of my biggest criticisms of him. It's all the way back to the Europa League, back to the FA Cup, all these tournaments with stuff we've watched in these massive games. He doesn't know when to go. You know what? This is not working. Let me just pivot from this and let me try something radical. Something radical would have been, let me bring Kiratini in. I'm putting Zinchenko in midfield. Trossard is going to go in for Jesus, and whatever happens. We're going to go for it. Nope. What he does, I'm going to just sit back. I'm going to let Jesus try to be a hero. I'm going to try to let Zinchenko do what he does. The defense is getting run ragged. No changes were made, and that's ultimately why we lost. Now I could go point at our attack because we had about 3 or 4 opportunities there where we should have put the game away. Even in the first half, we should have put the game away. We really let them off the hook today. A lot of people are going to spin this as Liverpool fought back. No, we kind of let them off the hook, literally. And now what we've done, Jez and fellas, is that we have put ourselves in a situation. I said this on my fan camp. We have to beat West Ham, and the title goes through City. That's where we are now. You can't rely on them to drop points. So y'all don't hear anybody else talking about, well, we need to, what if City drop? No, the objective now is that Arsenal needs to have in their head, we need to win every game. We need to go on an 8-game win streak or whatever it is until the end of the season. And if they pip us at the last day of the season, then that's a whole different ball game. But as of right now, we cannot have another one of these games where, like you said, we're 2-0. We're up. Celebrating. I'm dancing around the house. I'm texting people. I'm sending voice messages to Gary. I'm having a good time. We having a good time. And then next thing you know, we just mentality starts to creep in. We start seeing old Xhaka. He shows up today. Old Xhaka showed up today. We saw that. Then you see stupid stuff. Then the referee, who was atrocious, by the way. That was one of the worst referees I have ever seen coach a football game in my entire life. And I don't normally get on referees, but that was one of the worst refereeing displays I have ever seen in my life. And that's if you're a Liverpool fan or Arsenal fan. That was poorly refereed, and that's a classic example of why they don't have English referees at the World Cup. That right there was ridiculous. But we have got to learn how to lock in mentally going down the stretch, because if we don't lock in mentally, this thing, Jez, y'all, we've seen it time and time with Arsenal. If we don't lock in, our hearts have been broke with about 7 games left in the season, and it'll be 3, 6, 9, 12. We'll be 8 points behind them, and we'll be wondering how the hell did it happen.
Absolutely facts, man. Couldn't say it better myself. That's the way it is with Arsenal. A great comment here. Techers Dave, we should have easily scored about 5. Salah missed the penalty. Nunez 1-1. Conte goal line miss. To be fair, another Arsenal team would have gotten battered. Yeah, but come on, we're top of the bleeding league. And I thank you for your comment, Dave. I mean, your facts are right, but 2-0 up at Anfield, really? And he just let it fall apart. I mean, no, and that's just not how it happens, really. Big clubs don't do that, for fuck's sake. You wouldn't see Man City do that. Before I come to Darren, there's nearly 60 people watching, man. Let's get it up to 50 plus subs. There's only 30 people have liked.
Smash it up.
Sorry, smash the likes, man. It does help the algorithm. helps people watch more, and yeah, I really appreciate it. So, Darren, we've talked about Granit Xhaka, who basically, in my mind, caused us the biggest problem. Second half, yeah, we come out, and in my mind, we were shit. We couldn't string two passes together. Liverpool, Klopp, half time, must have said something, because they absolutely battered us. We were on the back foot for that whole of that second half. We had a couple of breakaways, but really, you know, when we went 2-1 down, I mean, after Salah missed his penalty, I thought, ooh, maybe it's our day. But they came on us. I thought, oh man, this is going to go 2-2, 3-2, because we had no answer. I mean, Darren, it was shocking, man, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, taking Rob Holding's performance, I mean, he was clearing them, but for the first goal we conceded, he's on the left-hand side of the penalty area as you look at it if you're a Liverpool player, and he's got Jones on the left wing, and he's jockeying in the box. Now, this Jones is not an established Premier League footballer. He's bang average, really. He was looking to threaten to come on and do something a couple of seasons ago, and I was actually surprised he was in the lineup. And I was watching Holding today, and a lot of the time what he does is he ponces about in the penalty box. He does zonal marking. He's not going up to players in the box, getting up to them, giving them a bit of dig, you know, a bit of verbals, well, you ain't getting the effing ball. And he just stands there and does zonal marking. And for the first goal they scored just before half time, you see him, when you watch him, he's sort of dancing around like this, and the cross comes, he lets the cross come in, rather than actually get in there and think, right, I'm Rob Holding, I've been around the Premier League for 10 years now, you're a little boy, you've been around this circuit for about 2 or 3 seasons, you don't bother me, mate, I'm coming through you, you're not even in the penalty box, so if I give a free kick away, whoopee-doo, you know, but no, he just jockeys around, does all this, don't want to commit himself because he ain't got the ability. If that was like Saliba or Gabriel, they'd be getting stuck in. And he don't get stuck in because he ain't got the confidence, he ain't got the ability for it, in my opinion. I'm not a Premier League footballer. I've played centre-back and I was crap. But even I know that, you know, you're there for a reason. Get stuck in, you know. And then second half, for the goal, again, he's done exactly what I've just said. Zinchenko gets made a fool of out on the left-hand side. The ball gets chipped in, and there's 2 of them. There's Holding, and I think there's Kiwior standing in the middle there, just watching the ball like this. And I watched him at corners. He don't man mark. He zonal marks. Now, whether the team are set up like that to zonal mark, I don't know. So perhaps I might be being a bit unkind. But at the same time, you know, that ball gets put in and free header and then another header. Goal. It's not good enough. We used to be a club that was prouded on our defence. You know, you'd never see Steve Bold, Tony Adams, Martin Keown, you know, get sort of chipped and table tennis in the penalty area like that. Just wouldn't be happening. So, yeah, I mean, second half was mega disappointing. And as soon as that was the turning point of the game, Xhaka doing what he did, that was it. We just didn't recover. And Arteta hasn't got the coaching ability in his limited experience to be able to make quick decisions, change things. Whereas Klopp, he can get outfoxed for 40 minutes, go 2 goals down, and then he'll probably get them players in the dressing room, make a few changes, tell them what our weaknesses are, get them to work on that, and then they get back in the game. And they were unlucky not to come away with the 3 points. And we can't argue that. I didn't see the stats. Did anyone see the stats at the end of the game for how many shots and on or off target and all that? I didn't see them, but I wouldn't mind betting they had more chances than we did.
I think in the second half they had lot more opportunities than we did. The fact of the matter, I mean, Anthony, there's a good question here. And I'm going to ask you this, TJ. If we don't win the league, what would Arteta excuse be towards the fans?
It's a really good question. And Anthony, I didn't get to this on my show, so I'm really, really glad that you're asking it again. I don't think he has to answer the question. I think that he'll dance around it, and you'll have the reporters that Arsenal PR will actually allow into the media room asking him those softball, stupid questions, not actual questions about the match or how the team is performing, but how his wife feels about the documentary 2 years ago or some other softball dumb question. Well, you can fill in the freaking blanks there. All I'm going to say is that Arteta doesn't have to answer the question because he has the full backing of the Cronkies. And he's not going anywhere, whether or not we bottle the league. He's staying. So we get to sit here and we get to go through these learning curve freaking potholes that we run into. Not very often this season, but what we saw last season and the season before and the season before that. What you saw today was Arteta learning again another lesson that experienced managers would not have needed to learn. Okay? and I'm not trying to go off the rails here a little bit, Jez, but I do want to talk about Granit Xhaka a little bit.
Yeah, go on.
So Arteta did exactly what Granit Xhaka did back last season when we played at Anfield at Liverpool and lost 4-0. And you remember exactly what sent us over the edge then. Into the first half, Arteta loses his cool, goes off on Klopp, and gets the Anfield freaking crowd behind him. And you saw what happened after that. We completely lost control of the game. We were controlling the narrative, and then we lost it because of an emotional reaction, which, you know what? If Liverpool can't win the game, they will make sure that you don't win the game. And they do that by being rats. They'll get under your skin. They will make sure that they are under the ref's skin as well, which we saw that. We saw that. I've never seen a linesman react and physically assault a player before. Like, are you like, that's going to be a storyline, by the way, if it isn't already. But getting back to Xhaka, it was selfish. It was selfish what he did today. Because as much as the Arsenal fans are painting this redemption story about him, he will come out and he will show his ass as soon as he gets people behind him. And he did it again today, and it cost us the game. Again, a lot of people are saying, oh, we're lucky to get a draw. Yeah, we're lucky to get a draw, and we can thank Aaron Ramsdale for that. But it didn't need to get to that point, and it tipped us over the edge as soon as Granit Xhaka went back to the old fucking Granit Xhaka. So my thoughts are, it shows a complete lack of leadership. We want to see Xhaka as kind of the captain that doesn't wear the armband, right? But he's very, very vocal, and he is very much a physical presence out there. He showed today that he's not that guy. He showed today that he's only out there for himself because he can't control his temper. And then you also have to blame Arteta too, because he didn't sub him off when he saw that he was losing his mind, when he saw that he was losing his temper and he was losing his composure, and it lost us our game. And you know what? I can't believe I'm saying this. I would have rather seen Jorginho out there, because at that point, as soon as Xhaka is on a card, he's a liability, and he could get sent off. And
well,
that was literally. And I was literally posting out in the chat. Go ahead, Darren. Sorry.
Yeah, do you know what, TJ? One of the things that confuses me is brought Kirior on today, who's a big lad.
Yeah.
Now, that weren't his job to be sitting that midfield or as a third centre back. Why hasn't he brought Jorginho on instead of Kirior?
That's a really, really great point.
because he probably thinks if I put Jorginho on, he's too small, he's too lightweight. Liverpool got big players. They're all big. When you look at them all, they're all big lumps. They're all Fabinho, 6 foot. Henderson, 6 foot. Big, strong lads in the middle. Nunes up front, 6'2", big. Right? So we've gone and signed Jorginho in January. And we were all saying, that's not the man. He's not a man for Champions League and for big dust-ups with big, heavy-duty Premier League team. Yeah, go and bang a goal in against Aston Villa in the last minute.
Own goal.
Get 3 points and get hysteria whipped up. Go and do that and enjoy, jog on and celebrate. Yeah. But what about the big games? No,
and that just shows, again, getting back to my original point there, and I'm really glad that you brought that up. Is it's just managerial inexperience. I mean, and Arteta has to own it, and he could have controlled the situation by subbing out Xhaka and really actually getting his hands around the game, but he didn't do it. So yeah, those are pretty much my thoughts on that. It's a leadership failure all around. And these are the consequences.
Matt, I just want to ask you Ryan's questioning, and then we'll get back into the game. You guys think we can win at City? Man City?
Sorry about that. Appreciate that, fellas. No, I think we can. I know that sounds crazy to the chat, but I mean, we've took it to a lot of teams this year. And truth be told, man, we played City before, and of course we were out there with the scraps, but we kind of gave them a little trouble. Last year, we took it to them with a lesser than team than we have now. So I mean, my biggest question is what Arteta's going to show up. Is the Arteta that panics? Is the false nine Arteta going to show up? Is the Arteta, playing players out of position, something stupid? Or is he going to come in like when we played United with a game plan and stick to that game plan and adjust accordingly? We've got to. He has to take this game. Somebody needs to call him tonight, whether it be Ian Wright, anybody, TT, anybody needs to call him tonight and say, "Hey, brother, you need to start learning from these losses or these draw. This feels like a loss. You need to start learning because if you don't, you're going to fall victim to it time and time and time and time again. We should not be seeing some of the same things that we've been seeing his entire managerial career this far down the line. When you start seeing it over and over, it becomes, like you stated earlier, a level of arrogancy. That means, I'm not. Whatever I do is right, and what everybody else does is wrong. The position of manager is about adjustments, knowing when to make it. Let me ask y'all this: do y'all think that Sir Alex Ferguson, if United would have went up 2-0 today? Now we all know this 2-0. You think that they're gonna lose that game? Hell, they're probably winning 5-0, 6-0, easily. This is the difference. This is when you look at quality managers and you look at a manager who has never been in that position. See, even if he had had that experience in the championship, he would have known how to handle it a little bit better. But he does not have that experience, so he has to learn. He has to learn on the job. This is the risk of on the job learning. It's a major risk, and the Cronkies are looking at it low risk, high reward. We're seeing it as high risk, low reward, because we know the reality of the situation. Now, I think that we could go to City. I think we could get some points, but it's all about mentality. Where are we going to be at mentally going into that game? Will we have done the work against West Ham, and all we need to go in and do what we need to do, or is it going to be a case of are we hoping that something? I want Arsenal fans and whoever watches this on the replay or whatever. I want people to understand we have to stop hoping for City to do our job. at this stage, we need to win the games. Just win the games. Get points. Win the game. Win the game. Win the game. Because all of the hula and all that, it's going back to last year. Oh well, man, Newcastle or such and such, they'll drop points and and then it doesn't go our way, and then we're sitting there with egg on our face. All I'm concerned about right now is a win. I saw somebody early in the chat say, "Well, the title goes to Arsenal. City are the champions. They are the reigning, defending champions. The championship goes through City. Beat City, you slay the dragon. It's just that simple." We've tried to run around it. Today was a good example of where we could have probably ran around it, but we've put ourselves in a situation. It's a must. You want to be champions. Everybody talks about they want to win trophies. Everybody talks about they want to parades. You want to get on open top buses. You want to cruise the streets of London. You talk about you're ready for Champions League and all that. This coming up is put up or shut up. This is the opportunity now to put up or shut up. And it's going to say a lot about our players and our team. These next 7 games, Jess, are going to tell you all you need to know about the players in this team and who needs to leave in the summer. And that's just me keeping it 100% with everybody on this panel. We're going to find out now who needs to go and who needs to stay, manager included.
Facts. Absolute facts, Matt. Very well said as well, my friend. Luca, mate, you changed your mind every the fucking week. Seriously, man, I don't know anybody that changes their mind more than you. You change your mind more than I change my fucking socks. Seriously. Honestly, 1 minute it's 2-1, then it's 2-2, then it's 2. Fuck me, man. Honestly. Seriously, really, honestly. Prince Fowd says, big up to the panel, big up to you, my man. And Prince Fowd, you were absolutely honest today in what you said about Arteta.
Facts.
Big up to you, mate, for saying that. Mama Flossie, Luke, you just said TJ Stream Arsenal will win it. Yeah, fuck me, what's going down? What's going down? Mate, you want to put some serious bets out. Serious pot some bets out on there and hedge your bets everywhere. Seriously, man. Jesus. Really. Just pop on, say hello. Just did my reaction. Good on you, mate. Go and follow Luca. Top fella. Likes to put his predictions out. And predict for everything, really. It is what it is. Anyway, I want to get, before we wrap this up, second half, latter part of that second half. Liverpool in Jurgen Klopp made changes. Who knew? Mixed it up, made a change. I said a few weeks ago, twice in 2 games, that Mikel Arteta has a plan B. Well, he didn't today, because you make changes. We sit back and we don't make changes. We're in deep shit, Darren. I mean, I'm sorry. If you're a top flight manager going to win the Premier League, you have to look at what the other team's doing, their tactics, and if your tactics are shit, then you have to mix it up. And he didn't. And that cost us again. And we saw this last season, not so much. Well, we did against Man United this season. He made 3 awful substitutions, cost us the game, and nearly cost us again today. And Darren, mate, this is why I don't actually have too much faith in him. I don't believe the hype. I have bigged him up. He's done very well this season. But when you come up against the big boys at this stage of the season and you're top of the league and you're going to win the bloody Premier League, then you have to make the right fucking decisions. And he didn't.
Well, yeah. he only knows one way to play, and that's attack, and all this pressing and all this business now. And this is where he doesn't get anywhere near George Graham and even Wenger as well. I'll give you an example in a minute. Right, George Graham went up there and ripped apart Liverpool in '89, who were the dominant force for years, by practicing in pre-season. And Arsenal fans will remember this. The Makita Trophy, 1988-89, we had Bayern Munich and Tottenham at Wembley. And we're sitting in the stands and we're normally playing 4-4-2. Next thing, George Graham's got 5 at the back, 3 central defenders. We're like, what's he doing? And he was just practicing for European football. And at the end, at 2/3 of the way through the season, he then adopted it in games, away at Man United previously, and got a draw 1-1, and then we beat him, at Anfield. So, and Wenger as well, I remember in games, abandoned his 4-4-2 and went to 4-5-1. I think we went up to Man United one year, and Fabregas put a through ball into Adebayor, and it was 1-0. And what he did is he played 5 across the middle. He had Diaby and a couple of other players, and because he had a plan B, and he used it in Europe, Champions League games. All right, he got to a final, but Arteta ain't got this. Arteta only knows one way, and that's pressing. And then when the other manager finds him out, like what happened today, what happens in all these big games, Sporting Lisbon, Olympiacos are not such a bigger club, but they found Arteta out. He doesn't. He's not got that plan B. He's not got that tactical nous. Going back to the Man City game, my only hope here, Man City haven't come up against Jesus, Martinelli and Saka, and that's why I think we've got an outside chance of beating them up there. But of course we've got Rob Holding at the back, and he's got to deal with Haaland, who's far more physical than anything that he had to deal with today. But then perhaps what he'll do is just hover around in the box and pretend that he's doing something, not actually do anything. I don't know. But Arteta's not got that tactical nous, and I don't think he ever will have it until he leaves this job. He'll either go and join another club, or he'll get sacked eventually. God knows when. Because all I hear from other supporters that love him is, he's learning. Well, guess what? I'm not an Arteta fan. I'm an Arsenal Football Club fan. I want my club to do well. I'm not there to support Mikel Arteta. I'm there to support Arsenal Football Club. All my memories from the past, Mikel Arteta weren't at Anfield '89. Mikel Arteta weren't in 1979 when Alan Sunderland slotted one in injury time. Mikel Arteta wasn't there in 1994 when we won European Cup Winners' Cup with Smithy's volley. That was Arsenal Football Club. That's who I support. I don't support Mikel Arteta, so he can get out if he don't lift this trophy. And even if he lifts this trophy, there should be at least a meeting to say, well, what are you going to do, Mikel, against big European teams? How do we know that we're going into the Champions League next season? How can we trust your ability when you get knocked out against Sporting Lisbon, you get knocked out against Olympiacos, you get knocked out against these other pretty powder puff European clubs? We've got Bayern Munich in the draw coming up. We've got Barcelona, we've got PSG. Yeah, what? Panic. That's it.
Yeah. TJ, there was a posting earlier. Man City have got to play Bayern Munich twice. Do you think that could affect their performance before we play them?
No. Sorry to answer so quickly and so frankly, but no. I've talked about this a couple of times, but I want to reiterate the conversation around strength of schedule. Okay, so Man City arguably have some of the best depth in the league. If you want to talk about world class strikers. You have the robot Erling Haaland in there, and then you have Julian Alvarez right behind him, who I would take Julian Alvarez in a second, in a New York minute. Would I take him at Arsenal Football Club? That kid is class. Okay, so you have 2 world-class strikers. You have a world-class center mid, and you have depth there as well with Foden, Foden, freaking Jack Grealish. You have all those big names out there at Man City, and you have Pep telling them what to do. Okay, so if you look up Man City's schedule, they do play Bayern Munich twice, right? And that those will be tough games. They also have the FA Cup to deal with, which I think they're going to win. But they have to play in the league us, Fulham, West Ham, Leeds, Everton, Chelsea, and Brentford.
Yeah.
They're going to roll all of those teams over. They're not going to drop points. So like Matt said, it's up to us to win every single game, because Man City are not going to lose one, and the only one that they potentially will lose is to us. And if we put in a display like we did today, we're not going to win. We're not going to. You would hope that maybe they get past Bayern and they draw somebody a little bit harder in the later rounds of the Champions League. That'll maybe take a little bit out of them, but I can't depend on that. I don't see, and I did put Bayern in as winning the Champions League, especially with Tuchel there. So that is going to be tough for them, but I don't think Bayern are going to put up enough of a threat. And if Bayern do eliminate Man City out of the Champions League, that makes it even worse for us, because now they're stronger and they have more rest in between games. And then they only have to deal with Sheffield United and then likely Man United to win the FA Cup. So again, I don't see the Man City train stopping for anybody. It's going to be up to us to stop them. So yeah, like Matt said, like Darren said, the only way Arsenal win this league is by beating them at the Etihad. So yeah, that's about all I got there. That's about all I got there, because Man City do not have a strong schedule to finish out this league, and I don't see anybody. They're playing relegation fodder the rest of the league, the rest of the way, with the exception of us and Brentford.
Yeah, I mean,
So
okay, I mean, sometimes there can always be an upset, but
yeah,
I hear what you're saying.
Yeah.
EQ says, Matt, I'm coming to you with this one, and I'm coming to Darren. If Arsenal can sack Emery, who's doing very well at Aston Villa, after he took us to the Europa League final, then Arteta has to go if we don't win the Premier League. I'm just going to give you my view. Quite right. He's spent £500 million. And yes, he's got the team playing very well, great football, but he cocked it up today. His substitutions were totally off cock. So if he doesn't win the Premier League, man, he has to go. That's my opinion. Matt, what do you think?
You did again. Any ambitious team with ambition would relieve him of his duties. The aim from Edu this summer was to challenge and win. That's what he stated. Now, back in August, I told y'all I'm holding him to it all year. He said we want to challenge and win. We were coming into this game 8 points clear. At one point, we were 11 points clear. All you heard for the last couple of months is we're supposed to win the title, Arsenal. You know, we've all, celebrating, having a good time. And then if we turn around here and lose, this will be one of the worst. Now, Jez, I hadn't been around as long as you, but I've seen some heartbreaking stuff. I can't think of anything that would be as heartbreaking that I've seen in the last couple of years than us being up by this many points and then not winning. Somebody's ass would have to be burnt on that. There's no way. There's no way that heads don't roll if we don't come back with this trophy. Because you have to ask yourself, like you stated earlier, TJ, how do we expect this manager to go into Europe next year against some of the best players and teams in the world?
Yep.
We need a two game ties and all that stuff to get past some of these teams. And then you expect this man to lead you over to the promised land. You know, I'm gonna say something. Nobody hadn't said this, but I'm gonna say it. I'll say it right now. There's talk that Real Madrid is not happy with Carlos Ancelotti. If he hits the open market, we need to be knocking on his front door as soon as possible to get him over.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, it's coming to a point where we're gonna need to have a manager that can get us from here to there. And because see, I want people to understand this little run we on is not promised next year. Arteta, come on, let's be real. I mean, do y'all think with these teams strengthening? Look at Newcastle. Shout out to Steve. Look at Newcastle sitting in third place. We got to deal with them too, by the way. We talking about City. We got to deal with that bear.
Mm-hmm.
You know, United's gonna go splash the cash. Aston Villa is now a factor in this. They're in 6th. They're gonna be looking around to spend a little money. We have got to look at this situation. We have to take advantage of this. We may not get this chance next year. We may not get it. But then you have to ask yourself, if we don't get it, do we trust this man to get us back to it? Because I'm gonna be personal. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't see it. I don't see it. I know I have my glasses off, but I just don't see it. I don't see it. And if this man does not get us over the line, then heads have to roll. Not only does his head need to roll, Jez, but that god-awful Edu, who has put our team in this situation by not having the proper players. Remember, we say and talked about it. Proper players that we need for situations like this, we don't have. You got one player, but we need 2 to 3 players for this kind of to get over the line. And they left us naked, and it showed up again today. And all you can do is just hope and pray that the boys on the pitch can find a way to get us out of these jams. Because I don't see Arteta having the strength to do it. And like I said, if he does not get over the line, he needs to go Edu and old Garlic. We need to have a clean house. Any ambitious owner will clean house. And I know TJ is going to say, well, it's the Kroenke. Now, we've seen it over here in the States.
Yep.
We've seen it over here in the States now. They don't play about the LA Rams. They will fire. They will go through. They will fire everybody all the way down to the janitor and the cook in the kitchen. We need that same attitude when it comes to the Arsenal. Heads should be rolling if we don't do something. If he doesn't deliver, he's got to go. He got to go. We got to start over. Because at some point, players are going to start looking around like, why am I wasting my time here? Soccer's going to start looking around. You don't think City's this is an audition? You don't think that some of these players aren't going to be tempted? Real Madrid, Barcelona, all these teams. You start playing them, you know what happened. They start talking. I.e. says Fabregas. They start knocking on doors. Hey, man, come on, man. Y'all can't get over the line. Come on over here, man. We'll get you a couple of trophies. You know? I'm just keeping it real.
That is a fact. Diane Kebalatsi, sorry for abusing your name, man. I disagree with the left top man, me. Arteta must remain as our coach, whether he doesn't win the league, because he has changed our club to a better team. Has he? Give me proof. Give me proof, Diane. What? 8th, and 5th? 8th, and 5th? That's an improvement from when we had Unai Emery. I don't know what club you watch, fella. I'm sorry, mate. I'm not seeing that. Now, I'm not slating Arteta as you may think I am. I'm saying he's had 4 fucking years and spent £500 million plus. So in that time, he's had his time. He said, Diane, he said when he joined, Arsenal will win the Champions League within 3 years. Well, we never even got in the fucking Champions League. So he failed at the first hurdle. Shocking. And it's idiots like you, mate, that bring the fan base down because you accept mediocrity. I don't accept mediocrity. I've been there. You never, I fucking guarantee, you've never fucking seen Arsenal win a Premier League. And so therefore, you don't know what it means. So don't come into my chat and fucking predict or preach to me because you know fuck all about Arsenal Football Club. I've been supporting this club for 58 years this year. So don't talk to me about fucking Arsenal standards. It's people like you that can fuck off out the chat and fuck off out the club. I guarantee you fucking money, you've never even been to see him play. Ever. So fuck off out of my chat. Can't be dealing with you. Idiots. Fucking idiots. And people wonder why I get wound up. And you get idiots like that trying to talk to me as a lifelong Arsenal fan and accept and want to accept that we have to wait and wait and wait. Never.
It's been 18 years already.
Never. And sorry about that, people, but idiots like that think they can come in here and talk to me as a lifelong Arsenal fan since the age of fucking 6 years of age and tell me, yeah, we can go for another year. Bullshit. Fucking bullshit.
James, what job do you do where you do not do your job to the best of your ability and the management just keeps tolerating it? I mean, where does that work in real life? Where does that work? Because at some point, something has to give. I want people to understand this. And I'm not going to try not to go on a big rant here, but we have been going back and forth with this heartbreak. Last year it was top 4. This year's title. The year before that it was Europa League. Oh, this, that. Praying for Wenger to spend money. When does the madness stop with some of our fan base? Where does the demand that for excellence? We have been challenging for a title all year, and we've got people saying that a man should stay here even if he doesn't win it. Why do we have to accept this? Why do we have to accept mediocrity? Why is this become such a new fad with some of our fan base? What in the world has it come to that we finished this second. He's changed the team. Really? Because I saw the same thing from Shaka today that I saw year before last, year before that, year before that, year before that. Odegaard just started getting halfway decent. People, we are at a watershed moment. It's either we get it done this year, or we're going to have hell to have to deal with the next couple of years. And let me ask you this, because people say this too, Jez. They say this. This is something that comes up. You're going to start hearing this in the next 3 weeks. I'll tell you that. You're going to start hearing this. Oh, well, let's give the manager some money so he can go out and spend and buy players. Well, Jez alluded to it earlier. Or this war chest, this war chest that we hear about in the summer, kitty, all these buzzwords that we hear. The man has spent damn near $700 million on players. At least Edu. The money has been spent, people. Y'all act like this man is getting a new batch of $700 million to buy players. You saw one come on the pitch today, Mr. Kivior. We spent top dollar. Was it 25, TJ? You know,
Yeah, 25 exactly.
$25 million on a player that's only played about 3 Premier League games in one of the biggest games of the season.
He's one for the future, though.
One
Matt.
for the
He's
future.
one for the future.
Yeah.
Not my future.
One for the future. $25 million was spent on that. You're telling me there's no player across Europe of that we could have brought in of quality, even if it was a loan to get the job done? Do you trust this man with this regime? I'm going to start referring to this regime with $350 million for players. Do you trust these? Do you trust this man, this regime? Because we've been buying mediocrity for the last few years. True enough, we got 1 or 2 players right, but a lot of it has just been splashed on foolishness. They're talking about giving El Nene the extended contract. This man hadn't played but 2 games all year.
They already did, Matt.
Damn it, they already did it. Excuse me, I see that. I totally completely forgot they did it. But that shows you you where we are, people. That shows you where we are. We should be telling him, thank you for your services, man. You've won the crest with honor. We appreciate you. You're on your way. Shaka, thank you for everything you've done for 6, 7, 8 years. Hey, man, you're going to have a testimonial. We'll see you later. It's time to raise the standards around here, people. Look, I want to go back into Europe and be successful. If we're going to go and get in Europe and get put right back out of Europe like we did up under Wenger, just call Wenger, bring him back. We just go right on back through the same thing we were going through. Because that's what we were doing then. And everybody was saying, oh, well, oh, man, we got to compete. But then when it's time to compete now it's a whole different set of standards. Well, which one is it? Which one is it, people? Mr. What was his name, Jazz? Mr. Diane. What is it now? Are we going to either A, hold these people accountable, or B, are we just going to just flounder around for another 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years? Enough is enough, far as I'm concerned. I want to see us win a trophy. Mm-hmm. I've seen it. Hey, I've seen it done 2 or 3 times. I know what it feels like to win a trophy.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Warren. Sorry, Darren. Beg your pardon, man.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was just on the thing to Warren's team talk. Mate, you've been there damn near as long as I have. You've been there, you've seen it, you've seen the hardship and everything. And we don't accept mediocrity at Arsenal Football Club. I mean, I'm sure this is a piss take comment. I'm sure it is. FH says, give Arteta 3 more seasons to get us the league. It's got to be a piss take. I mean,
no, it's not a genuine comment. And I read something by Tony, an Arsenal win, and we're going to win because we're more of a team than Liverpool and all this. And obviously it's 2-2, and But one thing he said in there is, if you've got the players, you don't have to actually be the best manager in the world. He gave an example of Redknapp when he was at Portsmouth, and they had Carnu, Lassana Diarra, and Sol Campbell. And he said him and Redknapp just relaxed. They didn't have to do a lot of work because them players were there. So we can say that Arteta's had a lot of money. He's had a lot of money to spend. Not all the money that's been spent is on the right players, but he has got a multi-million-pound squad of players. And as I said earlier, I alluded to the fact that he's got his toys now that he's playing with, and he's losing them. He's losing. He's throwing an FA Cup in the bin, a League Cup in the bin, a Europa Cup in the bin, and now he's going to throw potentially the league title in the bin after getting in a winning position with all this money that he's had. And these good youngsters that have been bought in before he got there, like Saka. Edu has done a crap job, really, because when you got people like your Willians and your Jorginhos, who he might be a stopgap sort of player who comes in and can do a job and has a nice pass every now and again. Chelsea wouldn't have got rid of him if he was top notch. They wouldn't have got rid of it. As much as Chelsea are on a decline and they're in a real mess, there's no way they would have got rid of him if he was that good. And we've always been taking Chelsea's cast-offs for a long time. So to me, Arteta should be going, even if he wins the league. If you was the chairman or on that board, you'd be getting excited and thinking, right, we don't want to be in the Champions League for one season again and then get knocked out the next season. We want a manager that's going to get in the Champions League and is going to keep us in there to the semis and the final. We don't want to be knocked out as third, in the group and then go into the Europa League, into the lesser tournament. We want to stay in the prestige tournament, more money. We want the money. Yeah, invest to recoup your money. So I'll be looking at Arteta in the eye, even if he's won the title, and say, well, what makes you think we're confident in your ability to get us in? You've got us in the Champions League. Who's to say you can stay there? Because your record in Europe is trash. It's not good enough. Why shouldn't we be going out looking for someone else now to come in and take your place? You've done a reasonable job. You've won the league with us now. Go and find yourself another club. We're getting Carlo Ancelotti in on Monday morning. He's taking your place. Go to Real Madrid if you like. Great. I would. I wouldn't beat about the bush if I was the Arsenal board. I'd just say, yeah, whatever. And if he loses the league, well, he's lost then. He's a loser, isn't he? He's a serial failure. It's a serial loser. He's been there for 4 seasons now. He's had enough money. He's had enough time. 2 seasons ago, we heard a lot of his supporters say, give him time. Give him time. Well, he's had the time. He ain't delivered, has he? It's not delivered. And it's as simple as that. And football, I mean, look at all these other managers getting sacked. Brendan Rodgers, Patrick Vieira's, Potter as well. I mean, all right, Potter was poor. And he probably got another Arteta, got given a too big a club too soon. There's no earn your stripes anymore. There's no. It's like, oh well, if you sound good and you look the part, yeah, you can have a job. Come and take the manager's job. Yeah. No, that's not how it should work. George Graham, the legend he was at Arsenal, he actually did a good job with Millwall before he got the Arsenal job, and that's probably what got him that job. It's probably what got him Arsenal manager. Maybe we wouldn't have taken him on in the 80s if he had. Oh, hello, Arsenal. I fancy a job. I fancy being the Arsenal manager. Oh, okay, Mr. Graham, what experience have you got? None. I've never managed. What do you do when you go for a job? If you go for a job on Reed or Indeed now, right? Anyone who's done recruitment should be able to back me up on this, right? If you're quite multi-skilled and you apply for a job as, let's say, hospitality industry as a waitress or waiter or whatever, and all you've done is compliance or something else, or you've done public service, put your CV in. They're not going to hire you. They're not going to hire you because they look at your CV and go, well, all you've done is deal with people and write reports on people and be quite sort of strong with people, communication style, stern and everything else. If you've had a previous job in TGI Fridays and you've got a nice smile and you've done it all and it's all on your CV, you get the job. Square holes, square pegs in square holes, not round pegs in square holes. And that's what Arteta is. He's come here with nothing. All he's done is put cones out for Pep. Yes. I can't believe I'm here saying all this. I can't believe Arsenal Football Club have hired a bloke who never managed before.
I think people are going a little bit off track in the chat. Diane again. I will rather blame the Cronkies for not investing in our club. Well, they've invested over 500 million. To past years, Arteta is the best manager after Wenger era, so we shouldn't pinpoint fingers. Look, mate, I think you've got it all wrong. What we have said is that we've admired Arteta for his achievement. But what he did today was ridiculous. He totally cocked it up. I'm not saying Arteta out. I'm not saying that. What I've said, I'll come to you, TJ. What I've said is if he does not deliver the Premier League after this season, then we must look elsewhere.
Mm-hmm.
That's the fact, because the Cronkies have released money, and that shows they are backing the club. I just got to do a couple of super chats. Chico says, "Who would you have as Arsenal manager, gang?" Well, I don't know at this point. I won't lie. I don't know, because I will sit here. I'll sit here. At this point in time, Arteta is doing well. He's doing well. But today, people out there, he got it wrong. He cocked it up. Simple. Gunnar Supreme Chad, typical overact once more from fake fan Jez. Yes, mate, I'm a fucking fake fan. I am a fake fan. Arteta knows more than you. Technically, he does. I'm not technical, mate. I'm not. He's the best manager we can have. Who else is better? Arteta proved you wrong already. Well, Gunnar, he has proved fuck all, because he hasn't won fuck all. He fluked in the FA Cup. He hasn't won a Premier League. He's kicked us out of every fucking trophy since he's been here. Lost us every European league round we've been in. So he has proved fuck all, pal. And let me just say this to you. I've been to 2,584 Arsenal home and away FA Cup, League Cup, European Cup, league games. How many fucking games have you been to? So don't call me a fake fan, you little gay bastard. Fuck off, prick. Seriously, come in here and try and tell me that.
Yeah. Jess, can I just say something real quick? Sorry, I know I've been trying to jump in here real quick. Not one of us on this panel has set Arteta out. So all you people coming into the chat saying, you guys have an agenda. The only agenda we have is for this badge right behind me. It's never about the manager. It's never about the players. It's about the badge. So stop coming in here saying that we have a freaking agenda. We don't. We want to see the club win. That's it. Did they win today? No. So are we upset? Yes. Because we have a standard. Okay? So stop saying that we're fake fans, that we're doing that we're doing this. We're not. We are here to see a club win a title. Okay? There's been a couple of outrageous comments here. Okay, and I'm not trying to be a guy that reacts to the comments, because they're coming in now and they're coming in thick and fast. Okay, somebody said that AFTV has ruined this club. They've ruined certain fans of the club. They haven't ruined the club. Like, you know, they are a media outlet. That's what they are. They're here to get views. They are not here to tell you the truth. They are here to tell you what will get them the most views. And good on them. They are there for the money. And if you can see that and you can watch that knowing that, then that's fine. Go watch them. Don't watch me. Don't watch Jez. Don't watch Matt. Don't watch Darren. If you don't want to hear the truth from somebody else, go there.
What comment is this? He's finished second, if not first.
He hasn't finished anywhere.
Yes, he's finished fucking fifth, eighth, and eighth, the prick.
You know, so
are you watching? Seriously?
Mr. Wrong. Really? So you're here to tell us the truth. You're here to tell us the truth. The latest comment here. You're here to tell us the truth. We're here to tell you what we see with our eyes. And if you don't agree with us, turn the channel. That's okay. Nobody's going to be offended. Jess, am I going out of my way to say you're going to be offended? I don't think any of us are going to be offended.
I'm sure it keeps Jez up at night knowing that these fans will be. broken hearted.
Exactly.
They're all little kids. They're all little kids because there's no school tomorrow. They're on holiday and they're like sitting in their beds, wanking over Arteta, stuck to their bedsheet. And honestly, as Unique 79, you mediocrity fans better calm down because true fans like Jez is talking. Yeah, I mean, if any one of those little idiots, if any one of them could come to me and tell me one thing about Arsenal history, then I'll say, well done. Because they know fucking jack shit. Seriously.
Jez, I'll say this, and
now I hear you, sir. Even myself, I'm disappointed in how he substituted and what he told the boys after half time. Well, there you go.
Yeah.
We're not hating Arteta, man.
No.
All we're saying, Darren, TJ, Matt, seasoned Arsenal fans, watched hundreds and hundreds of games. Between us, probably thousands of fucking games. Darren and I have been to thousands of fucking games.
And don't forget, we've seen George Graham sacked. He was sacked when he was accused of taking some money from a transfer years ago, when all the other managers were probably doing that anyway. And he was a good manager. He won leagues. So even good managers that win lots of things get sacked. You've got to deal with the fact that one day Arteta won't be Arsenal's football manager. He's not going to be there forever. He's not going to be there forever, because already we've heard rumblings that Real Madrid are looking potentially for another manager. So he might get second. So what's going to happen then? You're defending Arteta. What's going to happen? Let's say if he gets second this season, right? And Real Madrid knock on his door and go, yeah, we'll give you a contract. And he goes. What are you going to do then? Who are you going to cry to then? Because a new manager's coming in at Arsenal Football Club. Arsenal Football Club ain't going to die once Arteta goes. They're not going to say, right, we're going to close the club now because Mikel Arteta's gone. Can't cope anymore. There's plenty of more other managers out there that can come in and do a job, and do a very good job as well. Probably a better job than he's done, because they got more credibility and more experience, Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's sad, man, that this fan base is such. I mean, FH here says, you guys should leave Arteta. He's turned the club around. Really? Ever heard of a bloke called Herbert Chapman? He's the man that turned Arsenal club around. He's the man. It's not Arsene Wenger. It's not fucking George Graham. It's not George Allison. I'm going to mention managers you've never even fucking heard of, pal. You know, it was actually Herbert Chapman that sowed the success of Arsenal Football Club. And if you actually want to educate yourself, go and watch my history stuff, because you actually might learn a little bit about Arsenal Football Club. And that is why outside the Emirates there is a statue of him. And there's a reason for that. So go and do some research, fella. Absolute fucking idiots, these people. Seriously, haven't got a fucking clue. But guys, I'm getting fed up with them. Gonna bounce. Darren, shout yourself out, man. Shout yourself out. I know.
Yeah. Darren Sullivan 49 on Instagram. I'm going to post a couple of bits up there tonight. I think bit of music, bit of action from the game, from today's game. Because let's be honest, as fans of the game, that was a cracking game today.
Unreal.
It was brilliant. It was all the drama of it all. It was a great game to watch. We always want to win, but wow, that's proper football today. Good game.
Yeah, absolutely. TJ, congratulations, man, on smashing the 100. Everybody go and sign up to TJ Warren's TV. Let's get him over 500 by the end of the week. And big up to you, man. Great content.
Thank you.
It's great. And shout yourself out, man.
Thank you. Yeah, and again, Jez, I just want to say thank you for having me on. I wouldn't be at 100, let alone 50, let alone 20 without you. So I know you don't like taking the compliments, but I'm going to say it every time. Big up again, Darren and Matt. Being on a panel with you, I just used to be a guy talking crap in the chat like all these guys, but being on a stream with you again is an honor. I'm a fan. I'm a fan of you guys before I'm up here. So again, thank you for the real talk as usual. TJ Warner TV. I do just match reactions with Jez here. I also do match previews with Jez and with all the real, or what I would like to call the real Arsenal fans. We talk facts, and we back our facts up with more facts. So there we go. The American Idiot Show, Friday, 9 p.m. UK time. We will have any and all fans who want to come on to that and talk Prem, talk football, talk life. If you want, we had a great show last week with an Oldham Athletic fan. We had Deji Spurs on the week before, so anybody and everybody is allowed on that show. And again, guys, look, people will try to paint us as negative. We just want what is best for the club and the badge that is right behind me here. So whether or not you agree with us, we are all in it for one thing. It's not about one single person. It's not about one single player. It is about Arsenal Football Club. Again, thank you again, Jez, for having me
on. Thanks, mate, for that. Yeah, and I think tonight people have got the misconception. I'm not saying Arteta out. I'm not saying that. None of us, Darren, TJ, Matt, none of us have said that. It's basically he cocked up today, and all we've commented on, he got it wrong, and he did. And if we're not allowed to say that in our experience and knowledge, then that's a sad fact. And I won't go with this woke life thing that I can't have my say. And I'm sorry, mate, people out there. I've been around way too long around this club, seen too much, been experienced, disappointed and happy. But today, I'm sorry, Mikel Arteta, you got it all wrong. And I will have my say. And if you don't like it, then you know what you can do. Matt, Southern Gooner, man, shout your channel out.
All right. Thanks again, Jess, for allowing me on the panel. Want to say thanks to everybody. I have crossed the 400 subscriber mark. We're sitting at 408, so we're on the road to 1,000. So y'all make sure y'all subscribe. Y'all can follow me at the Southern Gooner. And as always, TJ, good hanging out with you, Darren. And Jez, it's always wonderful to see you too as well. And always good to just talk Arsenal. As you stated, man, we don't hate Arsenal, man. We just love with tough love. And we expect the best because we've seen the best.
Absolutely. And that's all we ask. I mean, it was funny how on channels, how when things go wrong, all of a sudden you get the little trolls appear. It happened on Lee's earlier with Lee called out Arteta. And let's be fair, I've been Arteta out. Lee's been Arteta out. It's not personal. We just want success. We've seen success. We want achievement. We want to move on. But because today it went to rat shit, Lee called people out. And out of the woodwork came all the little worms. They all came out. And, and I'm sorry, I am not going to be told what to say or what I can't say. And if people don't like it, then don't watch. It's simple. I don't give a shit. I'm not here to be nice to everyone. That's not me. If you think I'm going to be nice to everyone, then you're in the wrong place, people. Because all I have on here is intelligent people that can talk about Arsenal football. And I have people on here from other football teams that are intelligent and can talk about football. And we have a debate because we can articulate and we can make a discussion because actually we have a brain. Unfortunately, sometimes you get people in the chat that don't actually have a fucking brain. And all they want to do is be, oh, well, you don't actually agree with what I say, so I don't like you. And, well, I don't give a flying fuck because I'm sorry, I'm too old, too ugly, been around too long to actually agree with little muppets who were going to try and tell me and my guests what to say. So on that note, normally, you know, I don't get wound up, but the only reason I've got wound up is because Arsenal fucked it up today. And Mikel Arteta, you fucked it up because you got it all wrong. And therefore, I'm blaming you. And that's why I'm pissed off. And that's why I smoked a few people today in the chat. I don't normally, I ignore it. But I'm sorry, I had both shotguns out today. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Hit the likes and subscribe if you're new. And we'll see you tomorrow. I'll be on Lee's at 5 o'clock with Kenny. And then Wednesday night, 6 p.m, it's Lee, Kenny, and we'll have a chat on that one. And TJ, I'll be contacting you, man. And okay, guys, we're going to piss off now because I'm fed up. So take care, everyone. I'll do the outro and let's get out of here.
I'm relieved to hear that you've been to some fireplaces. It's hard to carry on when you feel all alone. Now I've swung back down again. It's worse than it was before. If I had seen such riches, I could live